They whisper about her because they don't understand her. They call her loner because she refuses to shrink into their noisy circles. She walks alone, not because she can't make friends, but because she has mastered something most women fear: the art of being enough all by herself. Do you know what makes a woman with no friends the most dangerous woman of all? It's because she has no audience to impress, no approval to beg for, no gossip to entertain. While others gather in fake friendships and empty laughs, she's building herself, brick by brick, into a quiet empire. Society teaches women, be liked, be included, be invited, but no one ever told her that solitude would shape her into someone unforgettable, unshakable, unstoppable. A woman with no friends is not weak. She is free. She is fearless. The world can't look away. This speech is for every woman who feels like she doesn't fit. For every girl who sits alone wondering if she's broken. Listen closely, darling. You are not broken. You are being built. Her silence is not emptiness. Her silence is her universe. A woman who learns to stay quiet in this loud, chaotic world holds the deepest power of all. You see, silence is not weakness. It is preparation. It is healing. It is a sharpened sword hidden in a velvet sheath. When the world expects noise, gossip, drama, and desperate attention-seeking, her calm presence feels unsettling. Because people can't read silence. They can't predict silence. They fear what they can't control. Look at the working woman in the office who doesn't engage in office politics. She doesn't waste her breath arguing over who got promoted, who is favored, or who gossiped about whom. She comes, she delivers, and she leaves quietly, gracefully, and powerfully. And yet, in every room she enters, eyes shift. Why? Because they wonder, what is she thinking? What does she know that we don't? Her mystery shakes their confidence. That's the power of a woman whose silence makes more noise than their loudest words. Think of the girl who walks alone in college, carrying her books, earphones in, eyes forward, not bothering with pointless social circles. Others whisper, why is she always alone? They don't realize she is not lonely. She is building something in that silence. She is planning her future. She is mastering her craft. While they waste time worrying about parties and approval, she's creating a destiny they will one day envy. She's shaping herself into the woman they will one day applaud. Her silence is shaping her greatness. Imagine the wife who smiles silently when her in-laws taunt her, who doesn't respond to the small-hearted digs and passive-aggressive words. She watches. She waits. She doesn't argue or complain because she knows her success, her rise, her transformation will answer everything. The silent woman is the most dangerous because when she finally moves, she moves with purpose, power, and certainty. Silence is not surrender. Silence is strategy. Even the mother who raises children in silence holds this strength. She doesn't scream at life when her sacrifices go unseen. She doesn't demand recognition for every meal cooked, every wound kissed, every late night tear wiped away. Her quiet service, her unspoken love, her invisible strength holds the family together. And when her children grow, they will realize their success. She was their unshakable foundation. And what about the dreamer who keeps her plans secret? She doesn't post every small win on social media. She doesn't announce every goal she sets. She works in the shadows. She plants her seeds in silence. And then one day, she blooms so beautifully that the world gasps. Where did she come from? But she didn't come out of nowhere. She built herself in silence. She grew in private. She prepared while no one was watching. Even in heartbreak, silence is strength. The woman who walks away from betrayal, from disrespect, from pain, without tears, without screaming, without revenge, is the strongest of all. Because she knows the universe fights for her when she stays still. Her silence confuses the one who hurt her. Her peace burns them more than anger ever could. When you don't react, you take back the power. You become untouchable. Silence teaches patience. Silence teaches clarity. In a noisy world full of distractions, trends, and fake popularity, the woman who remains silent walks her own path. And one day, when she arrives at her destiny, the world will realize that while they wasted their words, she was building a kingdom in silence. She is not the woman who needs a crowd around her to feel alive. She is not the one who collects people just to avoid being alone. She has understood something that many never will. Quality over quantity. She knows that 10 shallow friendships can never equal the strength of one soul who truly sees her. She knows that applause from the world means nothing if her inner circle is full of betrayal and fake smiles. Look at the woman who walks into a party and stands confidently with her single trusted friend by her side, while others gather in large noisy groups. Those who see her wonder, why doesn't she mingle with everyone? But she smiles to herself because she knows most of those faces are pretending, playing, performing. She refuses to waste her energy on connections that are not pure, not deep, not worthy. She knows a single honest conversation is more precious than 100 empty greetings. Think of the girl in school who chooses to sit alone at lunch rather than join a table full of gossip and judgment. She could have gone over, forced herself to laugh at jokes that hurt others, smiled when she felt no joy, but she didn't. She picked her own peace over their poisoned company. They called her strange. They called her proud. But deep inside, she was building a wall of self-respect that fake friendships could never break. Years later, she will rise. And the same people who laughed at her solitude will crave the light she built in silence. Imagine the young professional who keeps her circle small. Her colleagues go out every Friday, pouring money and time into bars, clubs, and meaningless fun. But she saves that time, those moments, those precious hours. She calls her mentor. She reads books. She invests her evenings into skills and dreams. She isn't lonely. She is wise. She knows that 5 real connections, a mentor, a loyal friend, a supportive family member, a true lover, and herself are worth more than 100 shallow contacts. Even the woman who is married understands this law. She doesn't let thousands of opinions from the outside world pollute her relationship. She trusts her partner, values their private bond more than public display. She doesn't care if others think her love is quiet, simple, or unflashy. She chooses depth. She chooses truth. And that quiet, unseen love is the kind that lasts when others break. Think of the entrepreneur who says no to fake partnerships and glittering offers that come with hidden knives. She waits for the real deal. She refuses to sell her dream for quick fame or cheap success. And because of that patience, because she valued quality, she will one day sign the contract that changes everything on her terms, in her time. Even in friendships, she keeps this rule. When a friend lies once, she watches. When they lie twice, she distances. She won't keep poisonous connections close just to avoid the feeling of emptiness. She knows it's better to have space around her than to fill that space with danger. Her quiet standards protect her heart. She refuses to lower the bar. A woman who chooses quality over quantity is rare, because the world has taught everyone to crave more. More likes, more followers, more friends, more noise. But not her. She only keeps what strengthens her spirit. She only keeps what strengthens her spirit. She would rather walk with one loyal friend through the storm than dance with 100 strangers in the sun. She knows the rarest things in life are the most precious because they are few. And so she waits, she selects, she protects her peace like a queen guards her crown. Her focus is undivided. In a world where everyone's attention is scattered, where notifications, trends, and opinions pull people in 100 directions, she stands still. She stands sharp. Like an arrow drawn back with quiet strength, her eyes are locked on the target, while the world spins in confusion around her. She sets her skin to glow. Like an arrow drawn back with quiet strength, her eyes are locked on the target. Like the city of London's main square in London. Like the city of London's main square in London, nose glasses. Like the city of London's main square in London, nose glasses. She does not chase everything. She chases one thing, and she chases it completely. Look at the woman who wakes before sunrise. While the city still sleeps, while the world still dreams, she sits at her desk, working on her vision. She doesn't care about what party she missed last night or what gossip lit up social media. Her energy is stored for her dreams, not wasted on distraction. While others sleep in chaos, she builds her empire in calm. Because she knows, when you focus on everything, you build nothing. Think of the girl studying for her exams. Her friends scroll endlessly through their phones, lost in reels, likes, and endless chats. But she sets her phone aside. She turns the world off. She dives into her books like a warrior sharpening her blade. While they waste minutes that turn into hours, she grows sharper, wiser, stronger. And when the results come, it is her name they will call. Because she was focused. Because she gave her full mind to one thing at a time. Picture the athlete on the track, the dancer on the floor, the painter before the canvas. When they move, there is no room for doubt, no space for fear. Every step, every stroke, every breath is for the art they live for. Their friends may call, their family may distract, the world may tempt. But they stay in the zone where magic happens, where mastery is born. This woman has learned that greatness is not found in doing many things. It is found in doing one thing well, over and over, until the world cannot ignore her anymore. Imagine the businesswoman who turns down 10 average projects to give her soul to one masterpiece. She is not here for the small wins. She is not here for quick applause. She is here to create something unforgettable, something timeless. And so she says no, a word that frightens the world but strengthens her. Because every no she speaks is a yes to her vision. Her focus is her protection. It is her sword. It is her shield. Even the mother at home lives this truth. When she plays with her child, she is not on the phone. She is not thinking of work. She is present. Fully. Completely. Because she knows the world outside can wait. But the tiny hands that hold hers today will not stay small forever. Her undivided focus on her child is the seed of memories that will last a lifetime. And what about the woman who heals after heartbreak? She does not let the pain of the past break her focus on the future. She does not waste her energy stalking his social media, crying over what was, or begging for closure. No. She pulls her focus back to herself, to her growth, to her peace, to her glow up. And when the world sees her again, they will see someone reborn. Not because of what happened to her, but because of what she chose to focus on afterward. She understands that energy is life, and where your focus goes, your life flows. While others run in circles, burning out their light, chasing 10 dreams at once, she moves like water, strong, steady, unstoppable, toward the one dream that matters. Because she knows divided focus is diluted power, but undivided focus, that is destiny on fire. Society fears what it can't control. This is the unspoken truth that the world rarely admits. When a woman refuses to fit into the box they've built for her, when she walks away from the rules they've set, when she speaks her mind without fear or shame, the world grows uncomfortable. They want her predictable, agreeable, tame. But when she rises above their expectations, when she dares to live by her own script, she becomes dangerous. She can't keep your heart. She can't keep your mind. She can't keep your heart. She can't keep your mind. She can't keep your heart. She can't keep your mind. She can't keep your heart. She can't keep your heart. She can't keep your mind. She can't keep your heart. She can't keep your heart. She can't keep your heart. You are free to do, and society fears the dangerous woman. Look at the woman who wears what she loves, not what the world tells her to wear. When she walks into a room in bold colors, wild hair, fearless confidence, some people stare in judgment, others whisper behind her back. Why? Because she refuses to dress to please their gaze. She is not wearing clothes to be liked. She is wearing her soul on her sleeve. And they can't handle that. Because most people spend their lives hiding behind trends, afraid to stand out, but she is unafraid. And that frightens them. Think of the girl in the classroom who asks the bold question no one else dares to ask. The teacher stumbles. The students snicker nervously. Because her curiosity is too loud, her mind too awake, her courage too raw. She dares to speak where others stay silent. Society teaches girls to stay quiet, nod politely, smile, and agree. But she shatters that mold with every fearless word. And every system built to control her feels her rebellion. Imagine the woman who chooses not to marry because she wants to build her empire first. Relatives sigh, neighbors whisper, old friends raise their eyebrows. Why isn't she married yet, they ask. What is wrong with her? But there is nothing wrong. She simply chose freedom over expectation, purpose over pressure. And society, which relies on women being controlled by fear of time, fear of loneliness, cannot digest her boldness. She terrifies them because she shows that a woman can be complete without a ring, without approval, without permission. Consider the employee who quits her job to start her own business. Her family gasps. Her colleagues call her foolish. Why would you leave safety for risk, they ask. But she knows. Control comes from fear, from dependence. And she will no longer be dependent on someone else's clock, someone else's dream. She will build her own. Her decision shakes the system. Because when one woman breaks free, she shows others they can too. Even the woman who heals silently after betrayal is feared. When she doesn't beg, doesn't cry publicly, doesn't scream for attention, but instead goes silent, heals, glows, and rises without explanation. The one who hurt her panics. Society can understand anger, tears, even revenge. But quiet strength, silent rising, that's a force they cannot predict or contain. And they fear what they can't predict. What about the mother who raises her daughter to speak her mind, to question authority, to be brave? The world will call that child difficult, too much, uncontrollable. Because they are afraid of a girl who knows her worth too soon. A girl who cannot be tamed is a future woman who cannot be used. And that scares the very core of society. And think of the artist who paints what she wants, not what sells. The singer who sings her truth, not what the market demands. The writer who writes dangerous truths, not safe lies. These women will be mocked, doubted, ignored, until they are too great to be denied. And by then, the very society that feared them will pretend they always supported them. Because the world fears what it cannot shape, what it cannot mold, what it cannot own. A woman who cannot be controlled is a mirror society hates to look into, because she shows them the chains they still wear while she walks free. She creates her own validation. She does not wait for applause. She does not need approval stamped on her forehead by the world. She does not check her worth in the mirror of other people's opinions. While others stand in line for permission to feel good enough, she walks past them, head high, heart full, soul unshaken. She has learned that the greatest validation comes from the woman she sees in the mirror every morning, not from the noise of people who don't know her journey. Look at the woman who posts her art, her poems, her business ideas online, not because it will get 1,000 likes, but because it's an expression of her truth. She doesn't refresh her feed every minute hoping for approval. She knows that even if the world is silent, her creation still matters. Her worth is not measured in clicks or comments. It's measured in courage. The courage to show up as herself without needing permission to do so. And this quiet bravery is rare, unstoppable, untouchable. Think of the girl who wears what she loves, even if her friends roll their eyes or call it strange. She wears that bright yellow dress, that bold lipstick, that unique hairstyle, because it makes her feel alive, not because anyone said she should. She doesn't wait for compliments to feel beautiful. She walks like the sun rises just to see her shine. And when people stare, they see something they can't quite name. Confidence that does not borrow from their opinions. She is her own validation. Imagine the working woman who fights for a promotion or leads a project without expecting applause. She doesn't dress to impress the boss. She doesn't flatter to be liked. She delivers results, builds her skill, sharpens her mind, not for the sake of others, but for her own pride. And when they notice her excellence, it is only proof of what she already knew. She is valuable, with or without their approval. They don't make her great. She makes herself great. Think about the woman who walks away from a toxic relationship. The world might whisper, she couldn't keep him, or she's difficult, but she doesn't care. Because she didn't leave to win their sympathy. She left to win herself back. She left because her peace mattered more than their gossip. She left because she was done begging for the love she deserved. And when she lays her head on the pillow at night, her soul whispers, you did the right thing. That's validation no one can buy, no one can fake. Consider the student who doesn't compete for the teacher's attention or the class's approval. She raises her hand when she knows the answer, not to be seen, but to learn. She studies not to top the class, but to understand life better. Her reward is not the grade on paper. It's the knowledge that she's growing, she's evolving, she's becoming who she is meant to be. She measures herself not by marks, but by mastery. Even the mother who stays home raising her children understands this truth. She may not get awards, salaries, or promotions, but every day she pours love, patience, wisdom into her family. No headlines, no applause. Yet she knows the seeds she plants will grow into strong, kind human beings. And that invisible impact, that silent shaping of the future, is her deepest validation. And what about the dreamer who fails again and again, but rises every time? The world calls her crazy, foolish, unrealistic, but she smiles. Because she is not chasing their approval, she is chasing her vision. She claps for herself after every fall. She dances after every small victory no one sees. She is her own cheerleader, her own audience, her own judge. The world will clap when she wins, but long before that, she's already celebrated herself in private. Her time alone turns her into a rare gem. Not every woman can bear the silence of her own company. Not every soul can survive the storm of being by oneself without breaking. But she does. She does not see her solitude as punishment. She sees it as preparation. While others run from loneliness, she runs towards it. Because she knows that the rarest, most precious things in this world are not made in the crowd. They are carved in quiet places, far from noise, far from eyes, far from the false lights of the world. Look at the woman who spends her evenings alone with her books, her thoughts, her dreams, while others flood cafes, parties, loud rooms, where emptiness is disguised as fun. They call her boring. They say she is missing out. But what they don't see is that she is building herself in those quiet moments. She is learning, shaping, strengthening the mind that will one day lead her to greatness. While they seek validation in numbers, she is discovering the limitless universe inside her own soul. Think of the girl who stays in on weekends, when friends call her to join, to escape the silence of her room. But she sits with her journal, her plans, her vision board. She maps out the life she wants to build. She dreams boldly without interruption. She writes the dreams no one else believes in. And in those quiet nights, when the world is asleep, she is wide awake, writing her future with her own hands. One day, the same friends who called her boring will wonder how she created such magic. They won't know that it was born in solitude. Imagine the artist who locks herself in her studio, painting for hours without an audience. She does not need a crowd to tell her she's good enough. Her focus, her spirit, her hunger is enough. The world outside forgets she exists, but inside that room, something eternal is being born. Her loneliness is not empty. It is filled with colors, with music, with creation. And when her masterpiece is revealed, the world will gasp at its beauty, never knowing it was a child of her silent hours alone. Even the entrepreneur who works late at night building her business in quiet understands this truth. While others sleep or party or waste time on pointless pleasures, she is perfecting her craft, learning skills, designing her brand. No praise, no fans, no noise, just hard work in darkness. But she knows diamonds are not formed in sunlight. They are forged in the hidden pressure of the earth, far from eyes. She is that diamond, and her time alone is her making. Consider the woman who heals after heartbreak in silence. She does not rush to fill the emptiness with rebound love or empty flings. She sits with her pain. She stares at her broken pieces until she understands them, until she forgives, until she rises whole again. Others may jump into distractions to escape the discomfort, but not her. She walks through the fire of solitude, knowing it will burn away what no longer serves her and leave behind only gold. She becomes her own healer, her own savior, her own strength. Think of the single mother who, when the house is quiet, sits alone with her thoughts. There is no one to cheer her, no one to praise her strength. But in those silent moments, she realizes her own power. She has kept the home warm, the children fed, the hope alive. And in that quiet, she smiles. Not because someone told her she's enough, but because she knows she is. And what about the writer who fills pages in the silence of dawn while the world still dreams? She pours her soul onto paper, word by word, thought by thought, not knowing if anyone will ever read it. But she writes because she must. Because in that lonely, silent space, she finds herself. And when her book touches lives, someday the world will celebrate her, but she will remember it was born in the sacred silence of solitude. And now, my beautiful listener, understand this truth, that the world will never teach you, but your soul has been screaming to hear. A woman who stands alone is not broken. She is not unwanted. She is not incomplete. No, she is the rarest force this earth has ever seen. Because her value was never placed in the hands of the crowd. It was hidden deep inside her, waiting for the quiet, waiting for the fire, waiting for the loneliness to unlock it. The world thinks she is lost, but she is actually being found by herself, found by her purpose, found by the divine reason she was sent here to shine. You see, the crowd chases noise. The desperate chase attention. The weak chase validation. But the strong, the rare, the unforgettable, they chase silence. They chase clarity. They chase purpose. Because when you master the art of being alone, you become the woman who no longer needs to beg for respect. You command it. You no longer need to ask for love. You attract it. You no longer need to seek opportunity. It rises to meet you. History was never changed by the woman who wanted to fit in. It was changed by the woman who stood out. The woman who dared to stand alone when standing alone felt like death. Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, Frida Kahlo, Mother Teresa, Oprah Winfrey. They did not follow the crowd. They were not born to blend in, and neither were you. Listen carefully. Your loneliness is not your weakness, it is your punishment. Your silence is not your punishment. It is your preparation. Your isolation is not your curse. It is your crown in disguise. Every minute you spend alone, building, growing, healing, thinking, this is your advantage. This is your secret power that no one sees until you arrive and the world gasps in disbelief, wondering, how did she become this powerful? And you will smile quietly because you know the answer. You made yourself in the dark when no one was watching. You became rare when everyone else chose to be common. Let them mock you for not having friends. Let them misunderstand your silence. Let them call you names, label you strange, whisper that you've changed. Yes, you have changed. You are no longer the woman who needed their cheap approval to feel alive. You are no longer the girl who lowered her light to keep others comfortable. You have risen. You have evolved. You have become the version of yourself that you always feared to become. The version they fear to see. Because the world fears a woman who cannot be owned. It fears a woman who smiles without validation. It fears a woman who chooses herself, her peace, her path, her purpose over their petty opinions. The world fears you now. And that means you are finally free. Never forget this. You are the storm they didn't see coming. You are the fire that refused to die. You are the queen who built her throne out of broken pieces. You are the wolf that walked alone and returned leading the pack. You are the author of your own legend. You are not here to fit in. You are here to take over. They wanted you quiet. They wanted you small. They wanted you soft and easy and obedient. But you, my dear, were born to roar, born to rise, born to make the earth shake under your dreams. So don't you dare apologize for being alone. Don't you dare shrink for the comfort of the average. Don't you dare doubt the rare diamond you have become. As the great legends have said, she remembered who she was and the game changed. She needed a hero, so she became one. Throw her to the wolves and she will return, leading the pack. And most importantly, the woman who walks alone is likely to find places no one has ever been before. Be that woman. The world is waiting.